This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
Good afternoon or evening. I don't know, everybody. This is the City Council, Easthampton City Council Finance Committee meeting for June 26th, 2024. It's 5:30 p.m. And let's get started. Do we have any minutes to approve?
Not tonight.
All right. Cool. So then we really just have this one appropriation. Hello, Mayor. And then I want to talk for like 5 minutes and just sort of set a course for the elected officials conversation, the stipends and salaries thing. But I just want to lay out kind of where we go from there because I want to get that conversation started. But first, let's handle this one appropriation. Unless, Mayor, do you have any communications? And we don't have any public here, so yeah. Okay, so the one appropriation we have is $299,023 from capital stabilization to be the match funding for a series of grants to replace our 4 mechanical aerators and make repairs to the aeration basin at the wastewater treatment plant. Greg, is that you on the phone?
Yes.
Welcome. Hope you're having a nice day.
Yeah, sorry I couldn't be there in person, but
Oh, it's all good. Would you like to walk us through what this is?
sure. So one of the priority items in the integrated water resource management plan that we completed back in 2018 was replacement of the 4 mechanical aerators at the wastewater treatment plant. They are antiquated and we're having a very hard time getting parts and pieces for them. So we worked with Kleinfelder on applying for a Long Island Sound Futures Fund grant. We were successful in being awarded that grant. I believe the amount was $983,000 or $883,000. I don't have the numbers right in front of me. And we were able to couple that with a Mass DEP Gap 3 Energy Program grant to really cover the lion's share of the cost of replacing all 4 of those aerators. And then in the design portion of that project, we ran into some other issues with the aeration basins themselves and the gates that we need to have operational to have a successful installation of the new aerators. So we were able to build some of those repairs into the project, and the result is that city's contribution to the whole thing is $299,000 to get the construction contract in place and the work moving right along. So,
Okay, that sounds great. I have a couple questions, and then I'll turn it over to my committee and my colleagues on the committee. Now, did you say that there's this is approximately 300,000, and then what's the matching funds that we're getting from these other grants?
so I think it was $883,000 from the Long Island Sound Futures Fund, the National Fish and Wildlife Federation Long Island Sound Futures. And
okay.
I think it's $179,000 from the Mass DEP Gap 3 Energy Grant Program.
Wow. So this is coming out to almost $1.5 million between.
Yeah, this is a huge thing for us to get off the list down there. It's great.
Wow, that's great. For the benefit of any public that might watch this later and also myself, what is a mechanical aerator in the context of a wastewater treatment plant?
So it's a device that aerates the water to keep the biological activity that we need to have happening in the aeration basin, keeps it happening the way we need it to, according to whatever the treatment requirements are based on the loading of the wastewater at any given time.
Okay. I think that makes sense. Well, I think this is great. And obviously, when you've got a huge capital item like this, being able to get the majority of that in grant funding is just super because we have a lot of needs right now. Councilors, do you have any questions about this?
I do not. I was lucky enough to have a pretty extensive tour from Greg of the sewer treatment plant a couple of weeks ago, and he went into great detail about this. And this certainly is something that is much needed, and I think a great opportunity for us, considering the costs that we're having to put forward compared to what we're being given. I think this is a I can't miss.
Right, Councilor Dunham.
Yeah, I had a tour last year, and I think Greg at that time, or Director Nudelman, had talked about kind of the challenges that they were having. And so I think that this is a great opportunity that's come forward for the city. And as you've pointed out, it's a significant amount of money that we're putting forward, kind of a small matching, well, not small, it's significant also, but, those matching funds. And so this isn't the, infrastructure that is desperately needed. So, congratulations to them for putting together proposals to be able to seal those funds. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Glad we were able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, seeing as I think we're all excited about this and there doesn't seem to be any terrible controversy about it, I would entertain a motion to recommend to the full council the approval of this appropriation from capital stabilization for the FY24 wastewater treatment plant mechanical aerator.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
All right. 5. It's got to be a little bit of a late. Okay, that's cool. All right. Okay, so all in favor. Councilor Denham.
Aye.
Councilor Terrell.
Aye.
And I vote aye. Motion passes 3-0. So congratulations and thanks everyone for your hard work on this. That's exciting.
Thank you all.
Thanks. We're going to talk about one more thing, but feel free to drop off, Greg, if you've got other things that you need to do.
All right. Thanks a lot. Have a good night, everyone.
You too.
Right.
So the one thing I just want to talk about for a couple minutes before we adjourn is, we've had on our agenda for a while the review of salaries and stipends for committees. And I'm just, it feels like we're past budget season. I think we technically have till the end of the year to do this, but when you think about it, if we end up back on our normal like free cash schedule, then the fall's going to get busy. So this is probably the quietest time we're going to have is between like now and September. So I think maybe this would be a good time to pick this back up. I don't, just with everything that's happened since we've last talked about this, did we get data?
I thought
We had
were
requested.
Okay. That's all good.
I was going to say the same thing. I think we requested from Barbara, and we have yet to receive it. I thought you had requested it.
Yeah, we had, but then I think that maybe Lindsay had said something. I'm going to go through my emails and double check on that. I kind of, I don't want to make any decisions on this tonight. I just kind of want to be smart about how we do this going forward. So my thought is that we can meet sometime in probably in July when there will inevitably be something that comes up and we can keep talking about this. But broadly, I was thinking a lot about this, and I think that maybe it would be smart to think about this in two ways. One of them being kind of, are there positions that we think are currently under? I mean, I would argue every municipal position is underpaid, but like, are there some that are like egregiously underpaid that like we really feel like we need to address that? And then the other thing is, I kind of want to float the idea of, for the elected officials, the the mayor's kind of had an arrangement like this for a few years, just as a result of some like a weird conversation that we had in 2020, but kind of for everyone sort of floating the idea of maybe proposing just some COLAs in the stipends and salaries. And the reason that I'm proposing that is I feel like one thing that we get into a lot in city government is something where we don't raise something for a very, very long time, like 10 or 20 years. And then just there's been inflation, there's been these various movements, and it leads to a situation where we feel that we do need to adjust it, and that adjustment is big, right? Because nothing's happened in a really, really long time. And so we don't need to, we don't have to make a decision on this right now, but I just kind of wanted to float this as something for people to think about is, for like folks normally in the city, usual city employees, there's like a sort of a regular cost of living adjustment that comes into these things. And I don't really think of our compensation the same way that a city employee tends to think of their compensation, because it's not what any of us are relying on to pay our bills or anything like that. But I do think that when we do have these conversations about raising them, if we're talking suddenly about like, increasing them by like 50 to 100%, because we haven't talked about this in 20 years, it's a little bit disruptive. And maybe it would be a little bit more stable if we just said that, okay, whatever we're anticipating raising it's like if other people are getting like a 2 or a 3% COLA in these years, maybe that we anticipate building something in like that for the salaries for the next council, the next school committee, just so that these things don't fall into this sort of situation that they did the last term when we raised them, when it was like we were just looking at it and it had been forever since we'd even looked at them and nothing had changed. Just kind of do something to keep up. It's just a thought I had. I don't know. Does anyone have any thoughts on that?
I do think it needs to be addressed more routinely, and not this specifically, but in situations like this, to avoid that exact situation, because I think the people get sticker shock from like, oh my God, it's going up that much. Whether that's competitive to other cities and towns or not, it's the sticker shock of it jumping, like you said, 50 to 100% all at once, because we've waited so long. So I do think it's a good idea to address these things on a more regular basis.
Okay. Councillor Denham, do you have any thoughts?
I have lots of thoughts, I think, but I'm kind of going to hold on to them until I kind of see more of what we're talking about.
All right, fair enough. Well, so my thought is, I don't want to put a special meeting just for this, but my assumption is that when we meet in July, there will probably be some sort of transfers or appropriation request that'll come up. So we'll probably have a regular meeting at some point in the third week of July. And if people just want to come to that with any thoughts or ideas or proposals, I figured maybe that'd be a good point just to sort of, lay the groundwork for things, and then we can go from there, if that makes sense.
So I just want you requested like comps or salary information, and you did get it, or you didn't get it, or
we need to double check, because we asked and then budget season hit, and
okay.
I kind of recall getting an email about this and sort of being like, I'm not in a position to process any of this at the moment, but
okay.
Maybe that was like a weird dream. I just need to go back and actually see what we have and see what we still need to request. I kind of think Lindsay sent us something, but I think I ever had a chance to really review it in detail. So that is one thing I will do in the meantime, is go through and just
our follow-up in often I have it, and there is a note that says to gather information. So I don't know if that was just for mayors or councilors or everyone, or we're supposed to get you something.
yeah.
We are, and you didn't get it. Let us know.
I will check and I'll follow up.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Unless anyone has anything else, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion a second. All in favor, Councillor Dunham,
Aye.
Councillor Terrell,
Aye.
and I vote aye. Thanks, everybody. Have a nice evening.
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.